But when I first started trading, I owned an excavation company. I was freshly out of the military. I've been trading since 2018, but when I went like full time trading, I was running an excavation company. And so the only reason why I became really profitable and became really successful was maybe because of the fact I was so busy. I wasn't always looking. I was waiting for the perfect setup. I was having like an 80-90% win rate when I first started when I was doing my swing trades because I waited for the exact setup. I wasn't aggressive and I was very tedious. I was very calm. I was like, I'm not just going to throw my money away when I'm putting in 18-hour days to make this money because this money meant a lot to me. So when I started trading, I was very, very, very selective because money is hard to come by some days. So now that we got the aggressiveness out of us, when I went full time, like once I sold the company and I felt on top of the world, I was like, I'm making good money trading. I just sold my company. I'm free. I have all this time in my life now. And that's where I actually went wrong. I went for like a year where I was at like a 60-70% win rate because I had so much time on my hands that I was aggressive in the markets and I was attacking the markets with full force, right? And that actually hurt me more than it benefited me. I actually started losing money in the long run. Like, I went from I don't even know what's a good let's just do small numbers or so let's say I had 100,000 and I was making easy 100,000 a year trading. When I went full time, I was making like $60,000 a year because of how aggressive I was. Still profitable and I was still making money, but it's significantly less because I was just taking every single trade that I saw. There's times where we can go a week without taking a trade, 2 weeks without taking a trade because we're waiting for the right setup. And when you see that perfect, most beautiful setup, that's when it matters, right? That's when you're like, okay, I'm in the market. You have your alarm set. We already know that this two leg is here. We already know. But if you just wait for those little confirmations, like this, if we would have got in this sell position here, it would have been a complete loss, a total stop loss. And with us pulling back and being more secure, being a slower, being, more controlled and just not trying to attack the markets and make all that money right away, we are minimizing the risk of the trades. Like I said, we do have the complete confirmed BOS retest, right? Right here. Old us would have taken this trade and been like, why did we take, and then we would have gotten stopped out instantly. New trading us is okay. Now let's zoom in. We know that our entry is confirmed, right? We have our entry signal. This is our entry signal. This setup right here is our exact entry signal. But what held us back? Just these little bit of inducements showing that, okay, buyers are still in control. Like we don't have control to be in a sell. We don't have control to be in a sell. Why would we get into a sell? So, and then it's like, okay, well, can we buy into this market knowing that we're in a bearish trend and price is actually targeting the bearish? Obviously, it's targeting the external highs now, but we don't have a setup to be in buys to take the counter trend trade. Yes, as much as I would have liked to get into a counter trend trade here to then take the buys because we obviously know that buyers are in control, following our trading plan to a T, we're not putting risk when we don't need to risk. We totally could have just knowing that buyers are in control and taken the buy and just kept watching the inducements. We totally could have just kept and just sat in it because it kept inducing, right? 100% we could have. But that would have been a counter trend trade because our externals are bearish, right? Our internals are even bearish. And we know that obviously there's targets above, targets here, but just following the simple trend is your friend and our market structure, we couldn't have gotten in this trade because this trade would have been an F setup. Obviously, the buys were the clear answer because buyers are in control. but there was no setup, no entry for us to even take this. Yes, it hit a demand zone, but do you see any type of entry in this? Do you see anything in here that's confirming that follows our trading plan? Yeah, there might be a trading plan out here that says buy every time it hits a demand zone. But if you're doing that, your stop loss, you got to have just the biggest stop loss in the world. And we did that for a long time. When I first started Recon Trading Lab back in December, we would take trades 100 pip stop loss. They're 80 pip stop losses, because we'd just buy into zones. And we have got it dialed down to the 1 minute time frame where we're taking trades with, 10 pip stop loss, 5 pip stop losses. And that is why we don't take every single trade just because we need to see price give us the entry, confirm entry, right? Not only give us our entry signal, which is exactly I said right here. Old us would have been taking that sell right there, and we would have been waked out and been like, "Oh shoot, sorry guys, we just lost money," you know. But the fact that we waited to confirm that sellers were in control, right? We have the inducement to the upside, buyers in control. Okay. We had the opportunity right here was an opportunity to take this sell, right? This price came down here, but what did we notice? Price did not have a inducement. Price did not have confirmed BOS. Price did not create a supply zone. Price created an SMT, right? This is an SMT that invited early sellers. Early sellers, there was a bunch of sellers sitting right here like thinking, oh God, this is perfect. Why? Because they didn't notice or were early selling the fact that, okay, BOS is setting up. We had this shift of structure. Okay. We have a potential left head, right shoulder, right? Sellers here were sitting here thinking, I'm going to get in this, stops above, and then we're immediately wicked out. The price came in, tagged the entry, gave us a little false gratitude or whatever it's called, false gratitude here, and then just said psych stop loss. We stayed out for this exact reason that price did not give us a BOS there, right? No BOS, no BOS, no induce, no supply zone. Instead of a supply zone, it creates the SMT to invite early sellers, to invite impatient people, to invite greedy people, to invite the people who can't follow their trading plan. Right there, thousands and thousands of people took the sell right here and wicked out. And how do you know people took the sell? Well, look at price came in and rejected, right? People were sitting there because it created an SMT. Just follow the plan, follow rules, don't get greedy, be patient. Trading is about patience. It's not a quick get rich scheme. I've been doing this for many, many freaking years, right? Yes, it's very beneficial and I love it. But I went through phases where I would be well off if I would have just been more patient and more clear and more just to the T. Once you got the patience figured out, once you got the correct freaking role figured out, and you know the strategy works, you know everything works, and now it's all in your head, slow down, step back, and just follow the freaking plan. If you follow the plan, it will work. And once you start making money trading and you get ahead of yourself, you're gonna fail. It happens to everybody. Once you first get that first taste of money and the first taste of the success that trading's gonna bring, if you don't lock yourself in the door, lock yourself in the room and just be like, follow the plan, follow the plan, follow the plan, it's gonna bite you in the ass. 100% because now you're trading with real money or you have a funded account and you got your first payout and you got 6 7K on your first payout and you're on top of the world. You're like, holy shit, I made $10,000 from my computer. I can quit my job now. Like, don't do that shit. That's dumb, right? You're not you're not a trader yet. You got lucky, not you didn't get lucky, but you got freaking lucky because you still don't know the power of trading. The first 10K feels great. Yeah, but that shit fucks with your head 100%. And then you get the next 20, the next 30 or whatever. You don't start realizing it until you lose money. My biggest loss is $10,000 in a day. I lost $10,000 in a day. I had to tell my wife about it. Like, hey, honey, sorry, we can't do this now because I just fucking lost 10 grand. Right? That's when it freaking humbles you. That's when you realize that you can't fuck around. You know, it's just trading is small, slow, collective details. Find the entry, confirm the bias, confirm that buyers or sellers are in control, wait for the technicals, boom, right? It could take days, it could take weeks. I'm not going to say it takes months because you're going to find a trade within a month, but slow and steady, wait for the setup, confirm the setup, wait for the session, wait for the entry signal, wait for the bias, take the trade. Risk the same amount every single time. I don't care. I don't care. And I don't care. I don't care if you just made 3 grand and you want to risk 3 grand. Don't freaking do it. Risk the same amount of freaking money. Otherwise, you're going to lose it all. You risk $1,000 every freaking time. You're going to be profitable. You take 5 trades, you lose 3 of them. Risking $1,000, you take 1 to 3, you're going to be profitable. I don't care if you lose. Yeah. Three. If you win, take 5 trades, you lose 3 of them. You hit 2 trades, you hit 6%. You're still up 3% on the week. It doesn't matter about your win rate. It matters if your risk to reward is to the T. You could take 10 trades and lose 5 of them and still be profitable. Risk to reward, risk the same amount of money every freaking time. Don't up your risk because you lost so many trades because maybe, just maybe, I'm going to win this next trade. Say you lost $3,000. Okay. Now you want to make sure you make all that money back and you risk $2,000, right? Instead of 1,000. You could still freaking lose that 2,000 now instead of being down 4,000, you're down 5,000. And that's a kick in the nuts, guys. Just risk the same amount, follow the damn plan. That's all it is. Super simple, super easy. I was the only over risking all times. Yeah. I went through it. I went through it like crazy. It's natural to do that. It's natural to feel the power and then greed takes over, dude. Revenge trading till that 100%. I remember that too. When I shit, dude, I got some crazy stories when I first started trading. Wow. So when I first started like finding out, uh, dude, I was bad. I was so bad. I lost $40,000 trying to learn how to trade. I'm not kidding. I was bad. I was throwing money out of my ass. It was bad. So I would go through phases because where I would buy a prop firm. This is back when I was trading prop firms, back before. Do you guys remember the TFT scandal and stuff like that? Which was like 2 years ago now or something, maybe 3 years almost. So I started on TFT and it took me almost a year to get my first funded account. I would buy a 100K account, which is like $700 or $800 or something like that. Maybe I don't remember the prices. It's been a long time since I bought a prop firm, but I think they're like $800 for 100K. I was buying 2 or 3 a week. I was buying 5 or 6 a month. Like I would blow an account in a day, 100K account in a day, and I just would be like, "What the hell did I do?" And then I would buy another, and then I would blow it again. And then I'm like, okay, maybe I can't handle 100K. I'll just go to a 50K, right? And then I would blow that some bitch too. It's just a cycle, dude. I went through that shit forever. It happens. Trading is not freaking easy. You have to realize that it's not easy. If you have a plan, follow the freaking plan. If you feel like you're getting aggressive and you're getting holy shit, walk away, step away. It happens. Don't beat yourself up about it. It's all a part of the process. I lost thousands, thousands. I bought in a shit of mentors. I've gone through all the courses. I've done hours and hours and hours and hours of studying. I don't sleep at night. I still study to this day. I still get on the charts at least 4 or 5 hours a day. I said I work from home, and Hart said this is my full-time job. That does help. So I do have that opportunity to get on the charts a little bit more. But I still, every single night before I go to bed, what do? I get on the charts for at least an hour, 2 hours. I back test. I do my charts, and then I back test again. I go over my charts again. It's all about discipline, but it's hard at times having FOMO, being greedy, but following the trading plan will help you with that. 100%. 100%. Follow the plan. If you follow the rules, you're going to be okay. If you don't follow the rules, you're not going to be okay. There's been many times where I was 500 on phase two before fully funded, jump into a random trade to try to make it and blow the entire challenge. Yeah, down 25K this last year. Mindset was terrible. Did I feel that? That gave me the chills because I felt every second of that. 100%. I just remember my wife, wow, she is a saint for staying with me through my trading process. Saint. Because I would get mad. I was stressed out because I had all this other shit going on in my life. And then I'm fucking throwing money out. We would have dates and vacations planned. And I'm like, sorry, babe, we can't do it no more. I lost our vacation money. Just dumb shit. Because I was so like, why can't I figure this out? Why can't I do this? Why is my mentality so eager and greedy and trying to get after it? I was very impatient. I was very impulsive. I was very aggressive. And you can't be that way. Trading's going to eat your ass alive. It's going to eat you and then spit you out and then eat you again. It doesn't give a shit who you are, what you do, where you're at, where you come from, how much money you got. It does not care. It owes you nothing. The market owes you nothing. Does not matter to you. He does. It does not matter. He does not care about you. It's evil. And that's why it's so addicting. It's the worst part. This stuff is addicting. Basically, long story short, follow the plan, follow the rules. You feel yourself getting aggressive, you feel yourself slipping, step away, refresh yourself, calm yourself down, and just appreciate what the market's doing, understand it. Tomorrow is a new day. All right, let's trade again. Extreme highs, extreme lows.